Hey, what's up guys? This is Gus, back with another gameplay commentary. Gameplay we're looking at right now is from Halo 4 on the map Complex. 21 kill gameplay. So for my standards, that's pretty damn good. As I've always said, I'm not a great player. So whenever I get a decent score like this, I want to bring it to you guys. So check out the video, hope you enjoy it. But what I want to do right now is I want to get back into all this playoff basketball. The first round is over. We had some shitty series. My team, the Lakers, they just got their asses totally kicked. And I can accept it. You know, that's the thing. I'm not going to jump on any other bandwagon and stuff like that. No, I've got teams that I'd rather see advanced than others. But Lakers are my team. My only team. And they just didn't have it this year. Injuries. They didn't play as a team. The effort wasn't there on most nights. So they couldn't get it done. So let's move on to the second round. Every series is tied 1-1. So far it's looking really good. Looking really competitive. But let's go ahead. Let's dive deep. Analyze each series. And I'm going to kind of tell you where I think each series is going to go. Is it going to stay competitive? Is it going to end up, you know, one-sided? Let's take a look. So the first matchup I want to talk about is the Knicks and the Pacers. Now, that series is tied 1-1. The Pacers won game 1. Knicks came back in game 2 and pretty much beat the Pacers handily. It was pretty close there for a while, but they had, what, a 30-2 run, some shit like that. Ended up blowing the Pacers out. Didn't look too good. But I expect this series to change. I don't see the Knicks going on any more 30-2 runs. I just think from here on out, the Pacers are going to do what they do, and they're going to take this series. The Pacers are a team. They play as a team. They don't rely on one star, you know, like a Carmelo Anthony or, you know, J.R. Smith to have a great game. They're going to do it by committee. So they're going to have 2, 3, 4 guys, shit, maybe even 5 in double figures, maybe 2, 3 guys with 20-plus points. So they're going to do it as a team. They're not going to just have to rely on one dude, and if that dude is off, they're going to lose. They're going to do it. They're going to win by playing tough. They're going to play as a team, and they're going to beat you defensively and do what they need to do offensively. And as for the Knicks, they rely too much on the jump shot. Now, I know Carmelo Anthony, he's a great scorer. He's a ball hog, but he can put up the points. But the thing is, if he has any off nights, they're going to struggle. The same thing, J.R. Smith. I mean, there'll be some nights where you'll be like, holy shit, that dude's on fire, he's unstoppable, so on and so forth. But again, they're going to have to rely on that type of effort in order to get the win. And I just think that the Pacers, they have more of a well-rounded team that they're not going to have to rely on maybe 1 or 2 guys. They're going to be able to beat you in a variety of ways, and I just don't think the brand of basketball that the Knicks play is winning basketball in the playoffs. Now, during the regular season, you're going to be able to beat teams because what are they going to have, 1, 2 days to prepare? They're not going to really be able to focus. But now that they're in the playoffs, they can kind of zone in on what they want to do. And I think the Pacers will do that. So I don't expect this to be a short series, but I do expect the Pacers to win in, I'll say, 6 games. I think the Knicks will take another game, but I think at the end of the series, Pacers will come out on top. So moving on to the Heat and Bulls, you got to give the Bulls a lot of credit. Again, I'm not a Bulls fan, but I just think they did a hell of a job beating the Nets. The Nets were pretty much there with their full team, and the Bulls have been beat up, either by sickness or injuries or whatever. I mean, right now they're missing luol, deng. They're missing Derrick Rose, so he needs to step it up. I mean, I'm not trying to pick on the guy, but I mean, if you're in practice fucking doing dunks and doing this and that, it's just like, look, make a decision. If you're injured, just say, you know what, I'm not coming back. You know, if you're not, stop making excuses and get out on the court. You know, I don't have a problem with a player who is really injured saying, hey, you know what, I just can't go. I don't want to ruin my career. But if you're healthy, you got to be out there for your team. But anyway, I don't want to get too much into that right now. I'm just saying, it's like they could definitely use an extra bit of scoring punch in this series. But we'll move on. So anyway, Bulls tied the series, or had the series tied with the Heat, 1-1. Bulls surprised the Heat. I just think the Heat were a little bit too relaxed. They had a lot of time off. They made short work of the Bucks. So I just thought that they came in a little bit too relaxed, and the Bulls were able to get a win in there. But I think that's it. I just think from here on out, the Heat are going to go ahead and probably win the next 3 games. The Bulls might take one of them at home, but I just don't see it. The Heat are just too deep right now. They have the best player, LeBron James, who again won another MVP, and he deserved it. Just playing great basketball this year. He's just unstoppable. He's just too big, too fast, too good, and they just have too many good players. Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Ray Allen coming off of the bench. I mean, the list goes on and on. They can hurt you in so many ways. They don't rely on one guy. And the Bulls are just too depleted. So to keep it simple, it's just the Bulls, they just don't have their team there. They don't have enough guys, and their star refuses to step up. So I say Heat in 5 games, most 6. Moving on, let's talk Thunder and Grizzlies. Now, I had the Clippers beating the Grizzlies in the first round, but the Grizzlies they've shown me a lot. They've played tough basketball. They're playing very physical basketball. They just have a good mix of players. They've got veterans like Zach Randolph, who've been on a few teams, and you have to give him credit. I mean, he played Blake Griffin, very physical, took him out of that damn series. They just have a well-rounded team. Conley's playing really good. Gasol's playing really good. They just have a very good team. They play good defense. You just can't say enough about the Grizzlies. They shocked me. I'm sure they shocked a lot of guys, and they were the better team in that first round, and they won. And the Thunder, you've got the Thunder. They took care of business, even missing Westbrook. And I don't know. Right now, I'm kind of undecided. I'm going to say 7 games. I'm going to say the Grizzlies will take this in 7 games. They're just playing really well right now. They've got a young team, and that's the only thing that might hurt them is their youth. But when you have a veteran like Zach Randolph who is playing the way he's capable of playing, they can take this team over the top. So we kind of have to see. I don't know. I'm not feeling confident 100% that the Grizzlies would take it, but I just think that they're playing very solid right now. And the Thunder, they are going to be hurting without Russell Westbrook. It's just too tough to play without one of your stars and have to rely on Kevin Durant every night to score 30-plus points. It's just putting a lot of pressure on him. He's going to get run down. He's going to get beat up. And by the end of this series, he's just not going to be able to do what you expect him to do. Without having that extra guy there to take some of that pressure off him. I'm not saying that Kevin Durant isn't a fucking all-star, isn't a stud. But you're just asking a lot for one player to do day in and day out every game. And I just don't think at the end of the day that they're going to have enough to beat the Grizzlies. We'll see. I'm going to enjoy that series. But we'll see the way it goes. I just think Grizzlies are just playing really good right now. Offensively, defensively, hustling, rebounding. They're doing everything that you need to do to win. It's very impressive, very fun to watch. If you haven't watched any of these games so far in this series, you need to tune in because they're hell of a good games. Even if you're not a fan of either team, like I'm not, I can appreciate good basketball, and right now they're playing really good basketball. Last but not least, Spurs and Warriors. Now, the Spurs made short work of the Lakers. I was very disappointed in the Lakers' effort. Just horrible effort by the Lakers. They didn't put any kind of pressure on the Spurs. They didn't make the Spurs work. And that's what I think the difference here is going to be with the Warriors, because the Warriors are a very tested team. They beat a very good Nuggets team. Make no mistake about it. The Nuggets, they don't have any, stars that really stand out. But they're a very solid team. They can score, and the Warriors did what they had to do to not only score with them, but to take some things away. So the Warriors played really good basketball to move on. And both games against the Spurs have been very close. The Warriors could have taken that game 1. They were up in that game also. Now they're losing some big leads, which is not very encouraging. But they're tied. For a young team to be tied with the Spurs 1-1, You have to be very impressed. Both games close. And I just think the longer this series goes, the more of an advantage the Warriors are going to have because of their youth. Now, you always have that factor of Stephen Curry and his ankles because that dude is a great player. Stephen Curry is awesome, but his ankles are made of glass, and they're just one injury away from this not even being a series at all. So I think health is going to be a key issue. If Stephen Curry can continue to be healthy, I think they're going to take this series. Now, it's not going to be, they're not going to win the next 3 games, I don't think. But I think that they'll probably take this series in 6, maybe 7 games. I don't know. Winning the 7th game in San Antonio is going to be really tough. But I think that if they can continue to play the way they're playing, they'll go ahead and they'll win the next 2. They'll come back to San Antonio, lose that one, and then they'll end up closing out the series in Game 6. So we'll see how that series goes. Again, if you love NBA basketball, you need to tune into this series because it's just real close, really good. You've got a young team like the Warriors, which they are missing David Lee, but they're doing what they have to do to play really good, tough basketball, and you have to like it. If you like, physical basketball, if you like scoring, if you like points, you're going to love this series. So, anyway, I see the Warriors taking it. It'd be nice to kind of see some new teams go ahead and be competitive. But anyway, we're coming to the end of this commentary. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more playoff talk. This is GusCunnilin, and I'm out.